Charles Leclerc's recent words struck Ferrari fans with an unexpected chill. After years of relentless effort, he admitted that winning with Ferrari feels more like a fading dream than an approaching reality. His statement was not one of anger but of quiet resignation. For a driver whose career has been defined by hope and determination, the weight of those words revealed the extent of his frustration. Ferrari, once the most dominant force in Formula One, continues to chase shadows of its glorious past. Leclerc's gloomy claim forced everyone to question whether the team truly has the strength to return to the top. In a sport built on precision, belief, and strategy, his honesty cut deeper than any technical analysis. The remarks carried beyond statistics, echoing with raw truth. Winning with Ferrari might be slipping out of reach. This moment sparked conversations across the paddock, demanding answers not just from engineers or strategists, but from leadership itself. That leadership came from one man, Fred Vasseur. Ferrari is not just a team, it is a symbol. Every victory carries the pride of Italy, and every failure feels heavier than any other team's misstep. For Leclerc, joining Ferrari was the dream of a lifetime, but reality has proven far harsher. Seasons filled with near misses, strategy errors, and reliability failures have chipped away at his confidence. Even the tifosi, the passionate Ferrari faithful, sense the weight of disappointment. The team's last championship lies far in the past, leaving drivers like Leclerc to carry not only their own ambitions, but also the hopes of millions. Each race becomes more than a sporting contest. It is a battle against history. Leclerc's remarks do not only reflect personal doubt, but symbolize Ferrari's broader struggle. The question is no longer whether the car is fast enough, but whether the organization itself has the resilience to rise again. Within this storm, Fred Vasseur stepped forward, knowing he had to respond, not with empty promises, but with direction. Fred Vasseur, Ferrari's team principal, is no stranger to high-pressure environments. Appointed to lead Ferrari through one of its most turbulent periods, he inherited a team in desperate need of both stability and vision. When Leclerc's gloomy words echoed across headlines, Vasseur knew silence was not an option. His response carried both empathy and firmness. He acknowledged the struggles while insisting that the foundation for progress was being laid. Unlike his predecessors, who often masked problems with optimism, Vasseur leaned into transparency. He reminded both drivers and fans that turning around Ferrari's fortunes requires patience. His leadership style is rooted in clarity, identifying weaknesses, addressing inefficiencies, and ensuring accountability. While Leclerc's doubts exposed vulnerabilities, Vasseur's response aimed to restore belief. He refused to let Ferrari's identity be defined by despair. Instead, he positioned the team on a path of transformation, signaling that rebuilding trust between drivers, engineers, and management was now his top priority. Behind every public statement lies a private struggle. For Charles Leclerc, carrying Ferrari's hopes has been both an honor and a crushing responsibility. When results falter, it is not only the team that faces criticism, but the driver who becomes the focal point of frustration. Leclerc's talent is unquestionable. His speed, his racecraft, his relentless determination remain among the best on the grid. Yet even the most gifted drivers cannot overcome structural flaws. Years of underperformance have forced him to mask disappointment with professionalism. But cracks inevitably show. His gloomy claim about Ferrari victories was not simply defeatism, but an expression of human fatigue. In Formula One, where mental resilience is as vital as physical skill, Leclerc's honesty revealed the emotional cost of constant setbacks. Vasseur's response acknowledged this reality. By defending his driver while outlining plans for improvement, he sought to relieve some of the burden. Ferrari's revival, Vasseur insisted, must be a collective responsibility, not a weight placed on one man's shoulders. Ferrari exists under expectations unlike any other team. Mercedes may dominate, Red Bull may innovate, but Ferrari must embody history. Every decision is scrutinized, every strategy judged against legends of the past. The weight of icons like Michael Schumacher lingers in every garage corner, reminding the team of its once unmatched dominance. For Leclerc, comparisons to past heroes fuel both pride and pressure. His claim that victory feels out of reach reflected not only present struggles, but the impossible standard set by Ferrari's legacy. Fred Vasseur understood this deeply. His response emphasized realism over fantasy. Instead of chasing shortcuts to glory, he argued for sustainable growth. Technical development, organizational reform, and cultural unity formed the pillars of his plan. By reframing expectations, he sought to shield the team from self-destructive comparisons. Ferrari, he reminded everyone, cannot merely survive on history. It must earn its future. And for that, belief must be grounded in progress, not nostalgia. Ferrari's pain in recent seasons has not only been about car performance, but about decisions. Strategic errors have become synonymous with the team's downfall. From pit-stop blunders to questionable tire choices, races have slipped away not because of pace, but because of planning. For drivers like Leclerc, the frustration of losing what should have been victories is unparalleled. His gloomy remarks reflected this accumulation of missed opportunities. Fred Vasseur, aware of this, addressed strategy with particular urgency. He promised structural reforms, hiring expertise, and ensuring processes minimize errors. For him, rebuilding trust was not just about producing a faster car, but about proving the team could execute under pressure. Strategy, once Ferrari's Achilles heel, must evolve into a strength. Leclerc's words may have triggered doubt, but Vasseur used them as motivation. In his view, each failure carries a lesson, and if Ferrari is to rise again, those lessons must be transformed into reliability. Leclerc's frustration and Vasseur's response cannot be understood in isolation. Across the grid, rivals continue to evolve. Red Bull's dominance, Mercedes's resilience, and McLaren's resurgence all place Ferrari under greater scrutiny. The competition leaves little room for weakness. Every misstep by Ferrari is amplified because others capitalize immediately. For Leclerc, watching competitors achieve what once seemed Ferrari's destiny has been a bitter pill. His claim of fading belief came not only from internal struggles, but from witnessing external success. Vasseur recognized this too. His response aimed to position Ferrari not as victims of circumstance, but as active challengers. He acknowledged rivals' strengths but insisted Ferrari's path would be built on unique identity and resilience. The grid may be unforgiving, but history has shown that turnarounds are possible. Vasseur's message was clear. Ferrari must stop measuring itself by failures and begin carving out its own trajectory in the modern Formula One era. Fred Vasseur's leadership style differs from Ferrari's past principles. Where others leaned heavily on politics or external image, Vasseur prioritizes internal order. His philosophy centers on three pillars: clarity, accountability, and patience. Clarity ensures that every member of the team understands objectives. Accountability means no individual is shielded from mistakes, and patience recognizes that sustainable change requires time. Leclerc's gloomy claim presented Vasseur with his first true test of authority. Instead of deflecting criticism, he embraced it as part of Ferrari's reality. His response was measured but confident. He reassured Leclerc while emphasizing that belief cannot simply be demanded, it must be earned. By focusing on structural reform rather than quick fixes, Vasseur outlined a future that is demanding yet realistic. The Tifosi, desperate for results, may find patience difficult. Yet Vasseur's philosophy offers Ferrari something it has lacked for years: direction. His response to Leclerc's claim was not about words, It was about vision. In Formula One, the relationship between driver and team principal often shapes performance. For Charles Leclerc and Fred Vasseur, their bond may prove decisive for Ferrari's future. Leclerc's honesty could have fractured trust, but Vasseur chose to treat it as an opportunity. By responding with support, he demonstrated that the driver's concerns were not dismissed. Trust is built not in victory, but in shared struggle. Leclerc's gloom reflects frustration, but it also reflects loyalty, his willingness to speak truth rather than hide disappointment. Vasseur understands this balance. His leadership depends on ensuring Leclerc feels valued, empowered, and protected. In turn, Leclerc's belief in Vasseur's plan could provide the psychological resilience needed for the battles ahead. Their bond is not merely professional, it is symbolic of Ferrari's journey. If unity holds, Ferrari has hope. If it fractures, doubt could consume them. In this fragile equilibrium, Vasseur's response to Leclerc becomes more than words. It becomes a pact. Charles Leclerc's gloomy claim marked a crossroads for Ferrari. It revealed the strain of carrying unfulfilled dreams, but also triggered a vital response from leadership. Fred Vasseur's words were not grand promises, but a roadmap. He acknowledged the pain, accepted the failures, and placed responsibility where it belongs, across the entire organization. Ferrari's story is far from over. History reminds us that the team has risen from shadows before, but success will depend not on nostalgia, nor on individual brilliance, but on unity. Leclerc's doubts were honest, yet they also lit a fire that forced clarity. Vasseur's response, grounded in philosophy and vision, ensured the team's path forward would not be defined by gloom but by determination. The road ahead is uncertain, but for Ferrari, that has always been the case. What matters now is whether belief can transform into resilience, and resilience into victory. The future is unwritten, but Ferrari still holds the pen.